Hey, this is Georgie.
And Pete.
For Studio Jargon Busters, where we talk about terminology used in the recording industry in plain English.
That's right, in every episode we bust one industry term that might be commonly used but not necessarily commonly known.
And I'm going to keep him... what am I going to keep you?
Honest.
Honest.
And what are we talking about today?
We're talking about EQ or Equalization. No,
that sounds pretty good. Let's go. Okay, so you did pretty well there. EQ is equalization or an equalizer. So do you know what an equalizer is all about?
It equals things.
It does. It equalizes things. It's for the purpose of equalization. No. So
you're not helping.
I'm not helping. This is not helping. Equalization. So EQ, every DAW, digital audio workstation, has an EQ. Every mixing desk, every console has an EQ. I'm using terms, aren't I? You're already going to call me out on using other recording terms.
You can't use terminology to explain other terminology. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and that does not make sense. So EQ is all about volume. So you know what a
Do I know what volume is? Yes.
I was about to ask, do you know what a volume slider or a volume knob does? Yes, it turns the volume up.
It turns the volume up and down.
So volume, also called gain, we'll cover that in another episode.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Gain.
So volume or gain is the loudness.
Gain or anti-gain?
Yeah, you turn it down for anti-gain. So we're getting off track here, but an EQ, an equalizer or an equalization is just volume, but at different frequencies. So a frequency is bass, mids, treble. So you know bass, dum, dum, dum. So like when someone's driving past in their car and you can hear the bass. Dum,
they see
dum,
me rolling.
Hey, what's your copyright? Come on, you can't be singing other people's songs. You're gonna get put up a copyright. And yeah, so bass is that. Treble is obviously your tweedledee. That's your very high stuff. It's tweet. That's exactly how it sounds. and then
I've done it again.
And then the mid range is everything in between. So
it goes from here to here and everything in between.
Exactly. So EQ or equalizer or equalization is the process of changing the frequency balance between your song. So if you've got a song that you're going, oh no, that guitar sounds too harsh and it's like too trebly, then you can actually drop down just the volume of the treble. And then you can say, oh, but my bass needs a bit of a boost, so I can jump up the bass.
But why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Well, when you record something through a microphone, as we're doing now, and as you would do if you recorded a guitar or your vocal or any other sort of source, then the microphone picks up a certain types of frequencies. So a microphone like we're using now here picks up a lot of high frequencies. It's a large diaphragm condenser. And yes, we will talk about that later. But it's a microphone that's going to pick up a lot of treble. So what we would need to do with this is we would need to drop down the treble and potentially boost the bass. So an EQ is something that you put on your track if you've recorded a particular track, or your entire song if you're doing mixing and mastering, and you can actually increase the bass or decrease it, increase the treble, decrease it, increase the mid-range.
No, you said mixing and mastering. What does that mean?
We're going to have to cover that another time because we can't talk about everything. We can't explain
one at a time.
Okay. Bass makes the bass sound louder and softer.
What is the bass?
The bass is a low frequency. So think of a piano. So, exactly. Think of a piano. So there's 88 keys on a piano, right? If you hit the bottom notes on a piano, what sort of sound does that make?
Low.
Can you make the sound of a low piano note?
Dung, dung, dung.
Exactly. If you've got your dung, 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 and you're thinking, this song has too much dung, 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 then you need to drop down the bass frequency. So you would grab your EQ and you would dial down the bass. Too much dung, dung, dung is going to make you sound bad. What would be a treble? Think of the top end of a piano. How does that sound?
Ding, ding, ding.
If you've got too much ding, 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 you want to drop down your treble. But what if your ding, ding, ding sounded like this? Then what would you do?
I'd turn it up.
You'd turn up your EQ on your treble. Now, the mid-range is sort of the in-between bit. So the middle... Yes, right? But you're close enough. And if your mid-range... So the problem is that a lot of music is very mid-rangey, right? So my voice right now is very mid-rangey. Yours is too. Yours is a little bit higher.
Very.
And guitars, pianos, all of these instruments are mid-range. So when you are mixing a song, and we'll get to what that's all about before you tell me off. When you're mixing a song, you want to make sure that you have a balance across all of the audio spectrum. So your low, your mid, your highs. So when your mids are too high, your song starts becoming muddy, which means that you've got too many competing frequencies. So what you need to do is drop down the mid-range of some of your instruments so that your mix sounds balanced. So an EQ, equalizer, back to that term, equalizer, it equalizes all of the frequencies. So you want to use an EQ to make sure that your lows, your mids, and your highs, how do those highs go again?
Ding, ding, ding.
So that your ding, ding, dings are not too dingy and your, how's the lows go?
Dong, dong,
and
dong.
your dong, dong, dongs are not too dongy.
You don't want those dongs to be too dongy.
If your dongs are too dongy, then your mix is no good. So I hope that helped you understand.
Not at all.
All about EQ. To take it back to actual recording, if you are using a DAW, digital audio workstation, if you're in GarageBand or Reaper or Pro Tools or whatever it is, they all have built-in EQs, which means that if you search in your plugins, we'll talk about plugins another day, if you search and look for EQ, then you can adjust all of your different frequencies, and it's like a volume slider or a volume knob, but for your bass, your mids, and your trebles.
You talk a different language.
That's what this is all about.
Join us next time when we talk about some other jargon that I don't understand.
And if you've got comments, questions, or suggestions, you can leave them down below and check out studiolivetoday.com for more tips and tricks and tutorials all about audio recording. And we will see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching Studio Jargon Busters. To find out when new episodes drop, hit the subscribe button. To watch another episode right now, click or tap on the icon on the left, and for more recording tips, tricks and tutorials, click or tap on the right.